My name is William Goit. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, and I've been helping people get healthy and stay healthy since 1986. You may know me as Professor Chi. Today, I want to talk to you about change. Change, how everything is change. We tend, as human beings, to avoid change. And this is due to, in part and to a great deal, with the will to survive. Because our reptilian mind, or the part of our mind that rules survival, says, you know, it worked yesterday, so it'll probably work today, so let's not change things. And this is a very, very strong notion in human beings. And our collective consciousness is built upon this solidity of ideas that seem to work, and they seem to work because they don't change. For instance, money. Money is the stable concept of how we go to work and put our energy into doing something, and in exchange we get a little rectangle of paper that we call money. And the stability of the money system has created everything in the modern world in a way that we feel safe. Now, money is nothing more than paper, yet we collectively believe in it, and that creates a kind of a stability that holds back change. We get $1, we go spend $1. That stability is very deeply ingrained in our mind to the point that we spend our entire life chasing after little rectangles of green paper and believing that those unchanging currency will help us survive. And of course it does. Now, I'm not here to talk about, economics, because I don't know that much about economics, but I do know that reality is about change. Reality is changing continually. What we call reality is the force of our attention through the 5 senses, and the waves of energy that are continually changing and are everywhere in the universe. We pick up on them, and we decide what is real, and it becomes particles of energy. And these particles become solid in a way that we can perceive it. Now, to think that our perception is all there is the height of human arrogance, and we all are there. But the way we see the world is very different than the way a wasp sees the world. A wasp sees things in infrared. It sees a very different world. It's picking up an entirely different spectrum of light, and its version of reality is very different than our version of reality. A dog's version of reality is very different than our version because it's depending on hearing. We don't depend on hearing much. We're very keyed in to what we see. So what we see visually has everything to do with making us feel safe. Making us feel safe in a way of holding back change and allowing some stability in what then we start to call that life. Our ability to adapt to change is what is evolution. That's how we become good at things. That's how we become wise. That's how we become successful, is our ability to adapt to change. And for instance, when we're very young, we adapt to change quickly. We learn so much in the first 3 years of life, and then we start to feel safe, and we start to slow down that adaptation. And we start to say, oh, this is how it is. This is what I'm comfortable with. I'm going to stop change. I'm going to get good at a certain game and a certain way of doing things. And if I continue to do it like that, everything will be okay. And it is okay. I'm not saying that that change is not, stopping change is not a bad thing, because I like stability as well. However, the more we recognize that change is something that is not going to stop, and that as we become aware of novel situations and put ourselves into new situations and try new things, we become happier. At first, it's scary. Change is always scary, but change is something that is going to be with us always. And eventually, this body will die and we will go through revolutionary change. So, becoming adaptable and becoming less fixated in certain ideas of stability, the happier we're going to be, the more wise we'll be, and the ability to face change is the hallmark of an accomplished human being. Now, the best way that I know of to face change is to stay energetic. Because again, going back to like when we were children and we were full of energy, we're always ready for something new when we're young. You don't have a fixed idea what it is. What are we gonna do today? What do you want to do today? You could sit there and play with pots and pans and create a whole world of imagination and be happy with it. And then you start to slow down and you start to stop change and you say, well, that's not real. I want this and I want that. And if it's not like this and that, I won't be happy. So being happy with things changing is the key to happiness that is lasting. Furthermore, joy, ever new joy, which is the realm of the heart and is the hallmark of a truly accomplished human being, joy knows that change is reality. And that joy loves change. Now, exactly what is change? Like I said, reality is waves of energy, and then it becomes shapes, fractals. Everything in our third dimensional world is certain kinds of fractals that are put together in shapes, and it becomes what's familiar to us. So, creating certain kinds of fractals that make you happy around you will be the kind of change that you hope for. How we do this has everything to do with our perception. And deservingness. If you don't think that you are deserving of beauty around you, you won't see any beauty. You'll just see drudgery. You'll see nothing but work. And the more that we have an open awareness that will appreciate change, then the happier you'll be. And again, the key is energy. Breathing deeply, developing a reservoir of energy so that you can adapt to change as it comes will be the key to happiness. And we can do this through breathing exercises and stretching and things like solar qigong. We can adapt to change in a way so that when change comes to us, it's welcome rather than dreaded. Now, of course, there's a certain amount of stability that we need in our life. I'm not saying that we should, just everything should be change. However, when we become accustomed to change and we welcome change, then when things change, they're not so dreadful. Look towards life in an energetic fashion. Realize that things coming to you, they may seem the same, but they are actually new. And when we see things as new and they start to change, there's a welcome to it rather than just, oh please, no more of that. I want more of what I had yesterday. Look to the future in the now as change, and things will start to be more welcome in a way that happiness can be cultured in your life.